everyone, welcome back to the lecture series on crystallography. I am Dr. Adesi Rai, Assistant Professor of Physics, MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. So today we are going to discuss a very fascinating topic which is related to the field of nanoscience and material science, where we fabricate nanomaterials, thin films using a specific technology which is known as sol gel method. So in this lecture, I will go through the process or steps followed in this sol gel method, and then the chemical mechanism of this process, then key advantages of this sol gel method, then synthesis of ferrimagnetic materials using sol gel method, and then some industrial applications of this nanomaterials which we are fabricating by using this sol gel method. What is the sol gel method? From the name itself, what we do, we prepare some solution, and that solution, with the time, we are making or transforming the liquid into a to a solid or gel. Then it involves several critical chemical and physical stages. So these are the steps which we are following. First, we are using a precursor solution formation. That means we are taking some basic material which we are using to form this solution or first the salt. Then we are doing hydrolysis and condensation. Then we are doing gelation or aging. And in this process we are forming the gel. Then by drying and calcination we are getting the nanomaterial for whatever we want in our process. So let's see the chemical mechanism of this process. First, we are following hydrolysis. What is this hydrolysis? In this hydrolysis process, what we are doing, we are making the alkoxide groups which will be replaced by hydroxyl group using water. So what we are doing, first we are dissolving the precursor or whatever the basic material we are taking, we are dissolving with mostly distilled water. Then what happens in this process, this alkoxide group will be replaced by hydroxyl group. Let's say I am taking a particular metal alkoxide. Let's say I am taking some metal alkoxide and it will be represented as metal OR group, and I am using hydrolysis. I am doing hydrolysis, so I am adding distilled water with this. So whenever it will react with water, that time what we'll get, we will get this metal hydroxyl group, that means metal OH. Then in addition to that, we will get this ROH, which will be some alcohol. So this is the process how we are forming this hydrolysis method. We are following this hydrolysis method while we are adding some distilled water to the precursor. Then what we are making, we are getting the salt after this hydrolysis process, which is a colloidal suspension. Then after we are condensing it. That means this hydroxyl group will be linked to a metal oxygen metal bond. That then after what will happen, it will form a chain like structure. After this condensation, this will form a chain like structure and we will get the gel. After aging process, then after we will follow this aging process where the gel network will strengthen as polycondensation occurs and we will get the proper viscous gel here. So in this process, whatever the precursors we have taken, by following the method of hydrolysis and condensation and aging, we are getting the gel. So mostly the advantages of this method are, here we are getting the material of high purity. So what happens here, we are making the solution first, then we are converting that into sol and then into gel. That's why first as we are making the solution, that time it will be like identically dissolved with the water. So and also we will get high purity, and it will give rise to uniformity also, like it will provide molecular level homogeneity in multi-component system. And then we are doing this process, Sol-Gel method, we can do in room temperature. That's why in low temperature or room temperature we can do this process, so it will be very feasible for us to synthesize any nanoparticles or nanomaterials using this Sol-Gel method. Then let's discuss about synthesis of ferrimagnetic materials using this Sol-Gel method. So let's discuss what is this ferrimagnetic material. So these ferrimagnetic materials, these are the magnetic materials where the magnetic moment of ions are unequal and oppositely aligned. So here there is a diagrammatic representation where this shows the magnetic moment of ions. We can see that these are oppositely aligned. This is in the direction of this magnetic moment is in opposite direction, and it is of different magnitude. That's why what happens, the net magnetic moment will be non-zero. So some common example of this is spinel ferrite, which is MFE2O4. So this is any metal, M stands for any metal. Then this is the example of some ferrimagnetic material. Then let's see how we can utilize this Sol-Gel method to synthesize this ferrimagnetic material, and what is the need of synthesizing this ferrimagnetic material. Mostly these ferrimagnetic materials can be applied in specific application, like in magnetic storage, by when we are fabricating any microwave device or drug delivery, nanoparticles and catalysts and sensors. So these are a few fields where we are using this ferrimagnetic materials. That's why the synthesis of this ferrimagnetic material is very much important, and here we should also think about the purity. And as I have discussed in the earliest slide, that whenever we are synthesizing the nanomaterial using Sol-Gel method, we are getting a structural homogeneity, and in addition to that we are getting a pure material. That's why this process is very much important in fabrication of ferrimagnetic materials. Then why we are using this Sol-Gel method? Already, as it is having excellent chemical homogeneity, low processing temperature, and fine control over particle size, and suitable for nanoferrites. Let's see the process. So first, before going to the process, we should know which materials we have to use for this particular process. Mostly we are using metal nitrates such as ferric nitrate and cobalt nitrate. Then we are using some citric acid as a chelating agent. What is this chelating agent? These are chemical substances that bind to a metal ion through multiple points, forming a ring-like structure called chelate. So I have shown in the previous slide. So here you can see there are a ring-like structure. Whenever before formation of the gel, it will be, these are combining like a chain-like structure. So this is the importance of mixing the chelating agent. Then we are using distilled water, and we are also using ammonia or sodium hydroxide for pH control. The procedure is, first we have to dissolve a metal salt in distilled water. So we are preparing the solution first. Whatever the metal salt we have to add that with the distilled water. Then what we are doing, we are adding chelating agent and stir. Mostly by using magnetic stirrers, we use this stirring process. Then after we are adjusting the pH into 7 to 8. Then we are heating it to form viscous gel. So here the precursors with solvent we are adding. Then after we are getting some colloidal structure in solution. Then we are that will be connected in porous structure. So whenever we are forming the gel, it will be having a structure or gel-like structure. Then after what we are doing some drying process. So we are drying that gel by 3 methods mostly. One is superficial drying, where we are getting aerosol Then we are doing thermal drying of that material, where we will get zerozil, and whenever we are doing this freeze drying, there we are getting chirozil. And then finally we are getting the outcome as the nanomaterial wherever whatever we need. So we are drying the gel, then we are doing calcination at 400 to 800 degrees Celsius to obtain ferromagnetic powder. So what is this calcination? This is a process of heating a substance to a high temperature in the absence of limited supply of air to induce a thermal decomposition, remove volatile components, and cause physical and chemical changes. So this is the methods or procedure we are following through just synthesize the ferromagnetic material through this sol gel method. So I have told about three methods of drying where we are getting zerozil, aerozil and chirozil. So what are these things? So this zerozil, this is formed by conventional drying or capillary forces which will collapses the pores resulting in dense solid. So what is the process of getting this zerozils? So the gel is dried at room temperature or mild heat, allowing the solvent to evaporate normally and causing the network to shrink. This is the method where we will get the zerozil. And how we are getting aerozil? So in this method, the gel is dried under supercritical carbon dioxide. So the solvent is removed without a liquid vapor interference, and here preserving the pore structure. Here we are preserving the pore structure. So here in this method we will get aerosol which are formed by supercritical drying. Here liquid is replaced by air without pore collapses, yielding ultralight solids. So as we are getting pores in this structure, these are ultralight in weight. Then the third process is, in the third drying process, we are getting the chirozil. Here, a chirozil is a gel whose solvent is frozen and removed by sublimation, giving a macroporous structure. So the process is here the gel is frozen and then freeze dried that the ice sublimate directly, leaving porous network. So these are the three methods of making this gel. And if we are considering typical precursors to get any nanoparticles, so this previous slides was about making this ferromagnetic materials. So but for any other nanomaterials, mostly these are few classes whenever we are using alkoxide as a precursor. So some common example is tetraethyl orthosilicate. So here we are getting the resultant nano oxide as silica. And to fabricate this titania nano oxide, there we are using this metal alkoxide, which are one of the example is titanium isopropoxide. And similarly, to get this alumina nano oxide, we are using this inorganic salts. One of the example is like aluminum nitrate we are using as the precursor here. And whatever the nanomaterials we are getting by using this sol gel method, so mostly these are used in different industrial applications, such as we are using these in sensors, and we are using these in biomedicines, in drug delivery, and biocompatible coatings, and also in optical coatings, also like in anti-reflection and photochromic films. Also we are using this nanofilms which we are generating by this method. So this method, as I have told already, that here the structure of this all the molecules formed, those will be homogeneous in structure, and because of that reason mostly it is widely used in many field of this nanotechnology, and this method is very much useful for this. And in summary, so in this lecture we have discussed about the sol gel method, where we are mixing this precursor with some solvent, and Then after we are getting the solution, then we are doing this transparent solution. We are using a magnetic stirrer, we are mixing it. Then after, by doing hydrolysis and polymerization, we are getting the salt, which is a colloidal solution. Then by mixing or evaporation, we are getting the gel, and by speed drying we can get a zero gel. By different process of drying we can get different kind of gels, and finally by the method of calcinations we will get the nano powder. And later we can do XRD or any characterization process to see the properties or study the properties of the nano powder whatever we have used, and we can use it for whatever application we need. So this is all about the process of sol gel method we follow, and the steps we follow, and whatever the materials we use. So this is all about this lecture. Thank you.